Hey, hey. So I wanted to talk about what's keeping you in the dog park. And I apologize for the light and everything. I am out at the park with my kids. So I wanted to come live real quick while we were here. But I'm at the regular park with my kids, but I wanted to talk about what's keeping you in the dog park. And this does relate to your weight loss journey. If you don't know me, my name is Malaika Burley. I am a healthy habits mentor and transformational coach. And I am dropping my phone, but I am also on a weight loss journey as well. And I primarily help women. Sorry, let me get this back up. I primarily help women that have 50 pounds or more to lose on their journeys. And I help you lose the weight that you gained and gain the you that you lost. And I primarily do that through Transformation Tribe. It's my free community that you can join at malaikaburley.com/network. And then also on the Overweighted podcast, which you can listen to anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And hopefully I don't drop you guys again. But if I do, I'll just put you back up. All right. But I want to talk about what is keeping you in the dog park. And so let me give you this analogy and then it'll all make sense and blow your mind. All right. So we got a dog last year. And so unfortunately, my yard is not completely fenced in. So I can't let him just freely run around the yard. He is trained to an extent, but he will not stay there. So we will take him from time to time to the dog park. And he loves going to the dog park because, he is free to run around. He can be off the leash. He's, running around doing all the things. They even have like a little pool so he can jump in the little doggy pool and splash around. He loves the water. He can freely get water. There's balls out there, all the things, right? So he loves being in this dog park because he's free to run around and do what he wants to do. But it's really an illusion of being free, right? Because when you go to the dog park, if you've ever been to one before, there is a fence around the dog park. So although he gets to run around and he gets to feel free, there are still some boundaries that he has that are around the dog park. So he can only go so far. All right. So that is like you in your weight loss journey. You may be feeling like you're free and you are able to lose weight, but you may get to this point where you're only allowed to go so far. And I want to talk about some of the things that are keeping you fenced in, and it's some of the reasons that you may be stuck in this weight loss, gain it back cycle, weight loss, gain it back cycle. And I just wanted to speak about these things because these are things that I had to deal with and get through as well, at least recognize them so that I can move forward in my weight loss journey and not be stuck in that cycle anymore to where I'm gaining it back. So I want you to be free and not have this illusion of freedom like the dogs do at the dog park. And I want you to know, hey, Daniel, I want you to know what it is that, like I said, is keeping you bound and fenced in and whatever your dog park is for you and making you feel like you're free, but really you're not. All right. So I drew a little diagram here. Don't laugh at my drawing when I show you, but this is what a dog park looks like, right? So that's my dog. He gets to be free and run around, but like I said, he is fenced in. So he feels free, but it's really an illusion because he can only go so far before he has to stop, and it makes him turn back around. So like I said, that is the same with you in your weight loss journey. So one of the things that may have you bound I'm going to write this on here. And I'm not going to get too deep into some of these. And some of these, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So, one of the things that may be keeping you bound are strongholds. So, one of your fences that are keeping you stuck in the weight loss, gain it back cycle, weight loss, gain it back cycle may be strongholds that you have in your life. So, it could be, like things that are oppressing you, it could be addictions, it could be things like, wait, hold on. They ain't not scaring me. All right, so I'm just gonna hold it. All right, it could be things that scared me. Did that scare y'all? That scared the crap out of me. All right, so anyway, it could be, like I said, addictions, like sugar addiction, food addiction, whatever. It could be things that are it could be you just like turning to food instead of turning to something that would be a wiser option for me and my faith. It would be turning to Jesus. And what I mean by that, for instance, if you get stressed, if you are emotional, if you're sad, and then in those instances, you turn to food instead of, like for me, instead of turning to Jesus, well, that could be a stronghold because I should be turning to him in those situations and not the food. So strongholds could be something that is keeping you in that dog park. All right. So another thing, another side of your fence that you may have, and you may not be dealing with all these things, but this is just for an example of some of the things that are keeping you fenced in and keeping you in that weight loss, gain it cycle, weight loss, gain it cycle. So like I said, strongholds is one. Another one is, let me write it down here. Another thing that can be keeping you in the dog park are limiting beliefs. So, limiting beliefs about yourself, about weight loss, about food, about your ability to succeed, your ability to be consistent, anything like that, those limiting beliefs can keep you bound in that dog park and keep you limited to where you're stuck in that cycle running around the dog park where you're not truly free. So limiting beliefs, when we have these things, they kind of create ceilings for us. And or like in this example, they create a fence for us. And so we feel like we can do, well, for this, we're talking about weight loss. So we feel like you can lose the weight and keep it off. But what happens is you lose it and you get to a point where you start hitting up against that fence of that limiting belief. And what typically happens for those of us that are stuck in the cycles is that we end up going back and you end up gaining the weight back again. So limiting beliefs could be something that is keeping you fenced in. Also, limiting beliefs can cause you to self-sabotage because, again, when you get like to a certain point, you're losing a certain amount of weight, then that limiting belief that you have that you may not even be aware of, it could be something subconsciously, but that limiting belief is going to cause you to kind of self-sabotage, and it's going to keep you fenced in to that dog park. All right, so that's number two. Limiting beliefs is another thing that will keep you fenced in. The third thing that, let me look this. The third thing that may be keeping you fenced in to the dog park, and now I have to hold this since it wanted to keep falling. All right. So the third thing that may be keeping you fenced in are past failures. All right, past failures. Like I said, especially if you're in the lose weight, gain it cycle, lose weight, gain it cycle, well, you may feel like, man, I've tried this before. I can't do it. I never get past this point, which, is like a limiting belief. And so the past failures may be keeping you fenced in and keeping you from losing that weight and keeping it off. They may be keeping you from getting out of that cycle. And so like I said, just really like knowing that you've tried it before, it didn't work. You have to have the belief that this is going to work, it's going to work for me, and that I can do this in order to move out, to break down that fence and move out of that, to be able to move forward. But a lot of times with past failures, they will keep us bound and keep us fenced in because we no longer believe those things. We no longer believe that we can do it because we failed so many times in the past. And so past failures may be something that is holding you back, all right, and keeping you fenced in. And then, hold on, I dropped my pencil. And then the fourth thing, or the last fence that I wanted to bring up that may be keeping you in the dog park. I'm sorry about the angle and the lighting and all that stuff because I'm holding it now, but just rock with it. All right. The last part of the fence may be past traumas or hurt. So maybe like previous trauma or hurt. That was a big thing for me that kept me in the cycle. Because if you don't recognize the reasons why maybe you gained the weight in the first place, or aren't just dealing with some of these past traumas and hurts, you'll lose the weight, but then you'll gain it back because you never dealt with the root issue of, maybe the emotional eating or whatever it is that's causing you to overeat, right? So these are the four things that may be keeping you fenced in and keeping you in the dog park. And by dog park, that's just a metaphor for our weight loss cycle that we're stuck in. We're feeling like we're free. We're feeling like we can do this. We can lose the weight, but then we can only go so far. And sometimes we end up going right back and then gaining more, right? So strongholds, limiting beliefs, past failures, and then past trauma or hurt. Those four things could be holding you back and keeping you fenced in so that you're not able to lose the weight and keep it off. Because losing weight is not just about losing the weight. There's so much more that goes into that. We really need to figure out, well, what was the reason I gained the weight in the first place? And sometimes it could just be, laziness, or it could just be, just overeating. But why are you lazy? Why are you overeating? So there's still even root issues for those things. But one thing I do want to say with the dog park, when we take our dog to this dog park and he's free to run around, that we do have an access point, and you can kind of see that down there at the bottom with trauma or hurt. Okay, good, it went away. I was about to cancel that call. All right, so there is a gate. So you do have a way out. Now, if I'm going to get biblical on you, Jesus is the gate, okay? But for those of you that may not be believers yet, there is a way out. There is a way out of, there is a way to break down those strongholds. There's a way to break through those limiting beliefs, those past failures, those traumas and or hurts that are causing you to stay fenced in. So really, we need to address those things and break down the walls. And for some of you, that just means coaching, like getting coaching. You'll be able to be aware because there are levels of change. And one of the levels is that you are not even aware. Thank you, Danielle. One of the levels is that you're not even aware that you need to make a change. And so, coaching can help you kind of be aware of some of the limiting beliefs, some of the strongholds, some of the past failures or hurts that may be holding you back. And there may be an instance that you need more than coaching, and you may need to seek the help of a professional. And so you may need to go to counseling, or you may need to seek advice from a religious leader that you have. And even more so than that, if say coaching isn't the solution, then maybe a religious leader. And then even above that, like I said, going to some type of mental health counseling may be what you need in order to access that gate and break out of that dog park. All right. So I hope that was helpful for you. Like I said, weight loss isn't just about the weight loss. A lot of times there's so much more than that. There's deeper reasons why you gain the weight and why you can't get out of that weight loss and gain it cycle. So I hope that just kind of help open your eyes to that. And by the way, if you don't already know, I have a 90-day healthy habits and weight loss challenge coming up in January. And right now, you can get into that challenge with early bird pricing. And the link is malaikaburley.com/one thing. The name of the challenge is the One Thing Challenge. And we will have, well, you'll have an opportunity to um, become aware of some of the things that are keeping you fenced in and keeping you stuck in that lose weight and gain it, lose weight, gain it, lose weight, gain it cycle. So you will be able to become aware of some of those things during the challenge. So I just want to invite you to join us. Like I said, the challenge itself doesn't actually start until January of next year, but you can join now with early bird pricing and get a discount. So that way, just kind of reward yourself for making that commitment to do something different next year. So you get a discount for signing up early. All right. So, and by the way, if you don't want to join me for the challenge, just join me in Transformation Tribe. I'd love to have you in there. It's the free community, malaikaburley.com/network. If you have any questions, you're always feel free to put them in the comments, or you can DM me over on Instagram. I'm Malaika Burley over there. All right. I will see you later and have an amazing day.